Hello and welcome back to Mr. Payne Games, where I attempt to help you game your English class. If you watched my new content teaser the last time, you know that I struggled a little bit starting a new world. I'm going to blame it on the fact that it's the PlayStation 4 instead of the PlayStation 3, so things are a little bit different. It's a little bit harder for me. I forgot to save one of my worlds, which was really sad because it was a good world. Things were going really well. And then I went to another world and was killed by a zombie and lost my map. By a drown, actually. And lost my map. And then the world wouldn't reload for me. It was pretty miserable. So what I have here, I started a new world, and rather than bore you with all of the running around trying to fill the map and find a village and all that jazz, I just did it off camera. So I did fill up my map some. I found a village. I dug into a mountainside so that I could begin my house, and I have a place that I can sleep now. So I think long term, my goal for this is going to be to survive as long as I can while I try to build up what is necessary to ultimately maybe fight the Ender Dragon. If I'm being honest, I've never really made it that far. So that's going to be my goal. I think today what I want to do is try to see if I can get enough materials to make some armor pieces, because right now I am in pretty rough shape, like pretty bare bones. I don't have much really to work with. So I'm going to come over here, not far from my house, but a little ways from my house, and I think I'm going to set up a mine. This is going to be really boring, so I might actually speed some of this up on the video, but you know, the other thing that I do is to try to talk about literary concepts, things that are pretty important about English and your English class, and how to, you know, do better, things to think about, and to maybe help you understand things a little bit better for your English class. So today I want to focus on a book that my 9th grade students are reading right now. It's Of Mice and Men. And one of the things that's really important in the book Of Mice and Men has to do with dreams. And throughout the book, we see a lot of different characters who have dreams. Right now, my students are at a part of the book where we have seen Candy has some dreams. George and Lenny obviously have some dreams. And we have also seen or learned about other characters in the past who had dreams as well. So, for instance, one of the characters, we never actually even meet the character, but they talk about him briefly in the bunkhouse. This character liked to read short stories in a magazine, and one of his big goals was to have a letter published in the magazine so that, I don't know, he was kind of showing admiration for the people. And I don't know, the guys on the farm didn't think that it would happen. They thought that he was being silly. He's never going to get anything published in the magazine. But of course, we see that he does. One of the other characters comes in to the bunkhouse and has the magazine and says, "Do you remember this guy? He worked here." And it's kind of a big moment for that one character. Now, to be fair, nobody else really seems to care. Everybody is kind of like, yeah, I maybe vaguely remember that guy. Can you be sure that this is even the same guy? And that guy says, yes, I know it. I know it's the same guy. and he's adamant. And I think that that's really important because the setting of the book is in the United States in the 1930s during the Great Depression, and there were not a lot of people who were achieving their dreams at the time. Let's just be honest. The Dust Bowl was bad. People were displaced from their homes and things like that. And so we have a lot of people who, honestly, their dream is pretty, pretty basic. They just want to be able to survive. They want some stability, and that's a big deal to the character that his friend was published in the magazine, because it shows that dreams can come true. If it happened for that guy, it could happen for me too, right? That's kind of the way that the world works. That's kind of the way that our minds work. We want to think that if something good can happen for other people, it can happen for us too. We tell ourselves that so that we can have hope. And that's just one of the dreams. Now, there are other characters who have different dreams. Candy maybe dreams of having some, having a future, because he feels like his time at the ranch is drawing to a close, mostly because his usefulness on the ranch is drawing to a close. And that's pretty sad, but he finds with George and Lenny maybe the possibility that his dream can come true, and, you know, things start to develop. George and Lenny make a pretty big deal out of the quote-unquote American dream. And some people say that the American dream is to own property, to own land. Particularly at this time, land was valuable. And for George and Lenny, I don't know that it was because they could make money off of the land as much as it was because they could do what they wanted to do. So that's a pretty big deal, and that's a pretty big drop, isn't it? So I need to be careful here. Let me see. I do want to get down there, though, so I need to... Maybe I can figure out a way to make my way down there. If I keep going down this way, maybe I'll make it. George and Lenny don't necessarily seem to be thinking a lot about the money. Mostly, George wants a place that he can put his feet up, he can be his own boss, and he doesn't have to worry about losing his job all the time, particularly because his life is challenging with Lenny. And we see that in a number of different ways, but you need to keep track of it, pay attention, because that is what the story is about. It's about dreams, and it becomes really important as you continue to read the book, because the way that the book ends maybe gives us an idea of what Steinbeck wants for us to take away from the story about dreams themselves. Alright, so if you are reading Of Mice and Men, something to think about as you move forward is the American dream. Think about the characters who have dreams. Think about how their dreams play out for them. Do they work out in the end? Is it sunshine and rainbows? Or is it a little, I don't know, maybe more bleak? Alright, so that is it for today. I did not find anything to make armor with, but I have the beginnings of a nice little strip mine going on here. So, tune in next time to see, well, I don't know, what's going on.